Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Exponential Potential. And today I'm with my fabulous co host, Claire Oatway. Hi, Claire.
Ooh, hey, hey, hey.
And today is a very special edition. We are celebrating our 100th episode. Oh my God, can you believe that, Claire?
100. It's so fabulous. I can't believe it. It's just really, really cool. And it's an absolute honor.
Yes, yeah, I love doing what we do, and I love doing it with you, and I love what we bring to our fabulous listeners. And today, so it's not just about our celebration, but it's about celebrating women around the world, including you, listeners, and celebrating ourselves, celebrating success, and also inspiring you with some of our favorite successful women, because the world is truly your oyster.
Indeed, indeed. But I'm going to ambush the agenda a little bit, which is going to really freak out Jen. So I haven't set Jen up for this at all, but I have a little present for you. I'm just going to cue it up. Listen closely, you're going to love it.
Here grown from just a dream, Jen and Claire supreme, helping hearts to thrive. Smiles and wisdom shared, each moment so prepared, changing lives with care. A century of voices strong, every story like a song, lifted spirits high, with laughter, tears, and hope to spare. Jen and Claire have led us there. Together we all strive.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my God, Claire, that is just so wonderful.
Some might hate it because it is generated, but I hope you guys have absolutely loved it. And it's just, yeah, it's an absolute treat because it's our 100th episode, which is freaking awesome. I was
It's
so excited. And it's such a privilege to be your co host and to provide the content and speak to some amazing people and share lots of stories. So, yeah.
it has. We're going to try and stay away from too much. Although no, we are going to really celebrate ourselves and what we've achieved, because not everybody, it takes guts and determination and tenacity, as you mentioned earlier, and we will talk about what it takes to create a vision and to stick to that vision. But yeah, I'm just going to get a bit slushy, and then that'll be it. But it has been an absolute privilege working with you, Claire, and I truly could not have done this without you. And we have had a lot of fun, so much fun. We've had some incredible guests. I love our episodes the most. Don't tell our guests that. Because, and I really, one of our visions is to really, truly help other women thrive and show them what's possible for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Thank you. And thank you for our listeners for sticking with us and all the incredible feedback that we get, both people that we know and people we don't know. And we really truly hope that we uplift you, inspire you, and help you feel empowered, so that you can make a difference, whether that's small or big.
Yeah. So let's celebrate some other awesome women. Let's start to show, kind of what's the secret? How are people making this work? Because very often, you know, we very often say, if you can imagine it, then that's the first step towards making it real. You manifest it there. But for some people, kind of imagination is that step too far because of where they are right now. But there are some really iconic women who show us what is possible, who help feed our imagination, who help to stretch our horizons. And so, as much as celebrating kind of what we've achieved together over 100 episodes, I'm really excited to share, you know, kind of what can be done and what can be possible.
And most people, especially women, do come from humble beginnings and do come from struggle. You know, I'm going to take Oprah very, very briefly. We all know Oprah, but she grew up in an incredibly poor family and an abusive family. And she is the global lead female leader in, you know, she has her own TV show, her own network, not just her own TV show, her own network, her own magazine. She inspires women across the world and all the incredible things she does for women, for children, for equality. You know, I just feel, when I watch her, I just feel her heart is so big and huge. But it's, you know, remembering these people come from very humble beginnings, and it's not just luck that gets them there. And we'll talk about a bit more about that shortly. But yeah,
for sure. And one of my favorite icons is Dolly Parton. I mean, she's the most successful singer of all time, or women singer of all time. But again, really humble beginnings. And yet determined, got a drive to make it happen and have an impact. Yeah. So for many of our listeners, kind of how can they take those first steps if they feel that they have come from the beginnings, if they feel that kind of all that success is great, but it's not for me because you know?
I think that happens a lot. Even, you know, me moving to Italy and living in different countries, in Belgium, in Canada, people go, oh, but you know, I couldn't do that. It's like, why not? Why can't you? I couldn't run my own business, or I couldn't do what you do. I couldn't do a podcast. I'd really want to travel the world. I'd love to move to another country. Well, they're your sort of your yearnings, your little, like you say, your imagination starts. And if you're drawn to that, I think it's important to see the beliefs that are getting in your way, and what is it that you really believe about yourself, and what do you believe about what's possible for you, because the world is everybody's oyster. You know, we are fortunate that we live in the Western world. But I mean, I'm just going to take Tony Robbins. He is a giant around coaching and so many other things. He helps millions of other people. And he came from his mom. They lived in a motel room, him and his mom, and they lived on pretty much beans on toast if they were lucky. So he was able to get past his belief systems. And I think a lot of the time, especially women, we're told we can't do this and we can't do that. I saw a really great little advert, don't know whether it was YouTube or Facebook, and it was all these young girls, and they were saying, you know, up until the age of 7 years old or 12 years old, we believe these things are possible. But as we get older, we are told that as a girl, it's not possible.
Yeah, I think that's the Barbie advert that you're talking about, and I've seen that one. And you know, wherever you are on the pitch, as it were, about Barbie, they actually do a lot in terms of girl and women's empowerment. They explore different ethnicities. They've started to bring through much more in terms of disability and, you know, kind of body shape and careers. But they're investing heavily in, you know, really disrupting what women can do, what girls can do. And that advert is definitely one of one of theirs.
Mm.
But I don't think, I mean, it's not just from where you are as a child. I think sometimes, you know, you described how you moved to a completely different country repeatedly. It's just like, right, okay, I can do this. For me, the first time I traveled solo was when I was 27, for example. It's like, I was absolutely terrified, because it's not what we did, and you kind of have all of these beliefs about what's going to happen, and you know, bandits and being robbed and being stranded and all of that. But actually, you can listen to those beliefs and those fears, and then rationally, logically, just go, well, what would it take for that not to be true? What would it take for that not to be true? And we're bringing icons to the table because they are readily accessible, not just in terms of their social media, but also in terms of their biographies, whether that be in a documentary form or whether that be in a book. They're kind of very often quite descriptive and vulnerable and honest about their stories. And I think it's in those much broader stories that you can gain a lot of inspiration and go, well, you know what, if they can do it, why can't I?
Mhm. Yeah, and they're not necessarily special. Although I believe we are all special, we are all miracles and special, but nobody's any more special than you are.
Mm.
And we have this idea of, especially celebrities, and we put them on a pedestal, but and we think that all of a sudden they've been catapulted into fame, and we don't see what's gone underneath. And I think one of the biggest things, you talked about fear just then, it's, you don't get rid of your fear. It's courage. It takes courage. And you don't just get confidence. You get confidence through doing, through taking action and taking steps. And the courage element is, you know, focusing on the benefits of, why do I really want to do that? What would that bring to me? And not allow the fear to hold you back and keep you in your comfort zones. And I think something else is, we don't need permission anymore.
No.
We don't need permission to earn a living, to go out and have a career, to change our hairstyle, to go and buy clothes. None of us need permission to be who we are and follow our dreams. But there's still a weight of that, I think, that we carry around with us. And again, it's being, you know, you have to be mindful of those beliefs and that sort of deep rooted feeling of, oh, can I do that? I'm just a girl. I mean, that's I'm just a girl is such a powerful statement. And it's like, I am a woman, you know, I am an empowered woman that with endless, limitless possibilities available to me.
And arguably, I know this is going to be a controversial thought, part of the reason why there are so many rules and so many negative beliefs about what you can and can't do as a woman is that if they've tried to keep us down. You've seen our awesome power and it scares them. It's hard to be controlled. So let's create some rules, let's create some myths, let's create some stories that contain what it is to be a woman. You know, if you look through our stories, and we've done this in different episodes, but if you look through the stories that are told about the ancient goddesses, you know, they're jealous, they're spiteful, they're malicious, or they're very docile and loving. There's not much full force femininity in it. There's always some kind of flaw that gets overcome, whereas Zeus is all powerful. It's just like, no.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But when you look at goddesses from a female point of view, it's very different. And I think that's one thing that you do for yourself, is you look at yourself and you look at all your positive traits, your abilities, your skills, and of course, to be successful in whatever that, whichever way that looks for you, you need skills, you need experience, but you'd get there by taking steps forward. You know, Oprah didn't go from, you know, poverty to multi-million billionaire. Is she a billionaire? I'm not sure, but it's probably billionaire overnight. It takes time, and it takes what does it take, Claire? What sort of things does it
Mm.
take in terms of
Well,
success or reaching those
def
goals and desires?
definitely that clarity of purpose, so that you've got to focus for that energy. It's not scattered among lots of different goals that are a bit bit wishy-washy and will change. There's often a single-mindedness, and this is very often a male trait. If you think, for me, kind of in terms of sport, motorsports one with cars and motorbike racing, those are hugely selfish activities in a way that kind of the person is really focused on doing their absolute best in that position. And when I was competing internationally as an athlete, kind of you focus in on you narrow that focus, you have that clarity of the goal, and that's what's most important to you. And other parts of your life around nutrition and exercise and balance and sleep and relationships, it all kind of follows, but that clarity can be hugely potent as a driving force for sure.
Yeah, I think you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you're going.
Oh, you will
And
get somewhere. It might
you
not
just
be where you want to be.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, valid point. And again, you could have a big vision, but I think also Oprah might not. Oprah probably didn't have, and Madonna, Dolly Parton probably didn't have the vision of being, when they first began, being the best of da 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 da. They might have done. I mean, Madonna moved to New York with $35 in her pocket. She probably did have the drive to be the best female, deemed the queen of pop.
Yeah.
But I don't think you don't always know you can't always visualize what's possible for you until you start taking those steps. And as you start reaching certain goals, then things become more available to you, and you start seeing what's possible for you.
Yep, 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 yep. And yeah, I think there's probably worth thinking about how language shapes that. And yeah, you can live with purpose, of course, yeah, and that's something we advocate a lot. But how much more powerful is it to live on purpose?
Mm.
Yeah, to kind of deliberately, intentionally follow that path on purpose. This is what I'm about. I'm going to live my full on purpose. You can feel the strength in that conviction.
You can definitely. It's very powerful words. I'm going to live on purpose. It really holds a powerful energy about it for sure. And I think the the purpose doesn't, like I said, the purpose doesn't have to be huge. It can be that you're living on purpose to come from a place of love and kindness and compassion. It can be, I'm going to live on purpose around the environment. I'm going to be more aware and more purposeful in my actions, and be a role model, or you actually become a role model to others around me by being purposeful and deliberately on purpose, being mindful of how you are interacting with our environment and how you are creating sustainability within your own life and your families, your own household.
Yeah. How are you going to drive your life rather than be driven?
Yes.
Yeah, and that can show up in so many different ways. It can be more presence in a conversation. It can be holding a particular mind state as much as you can to be joyful on purpose.
Mhm.
You'll find it easier. You'll find it easily with intention. But yeah, what about you, Jen? What do you think's one of the core elements?
I think mindset is huge. For me, I'm all about creating ease and flow and joy in my life. And one of the things around that is you do need systems and strategy in place. And as much of a freedom seeker I am, it's taken me many years to really understand that to gain the freedom I want to gain, I have to have systems and strategies in place. And part of that is, one of my strategies is to be in alignment. And
Yep.
that, you know, for me, that means balance and boundaries and joy, and ensuring that my mindset, not only, you know, my mindset is in the game,
Yep.
and that, you know, that wavers as I'm moving up and elevating things. Your mindset, your belief, you know, it will waver as you move out of your comfort, each time you move out of your comfort zones, and that's okay. But mindset, and again, being deliberate about your mindset and believing what's possible for you and following that through. And then vibrationally, my energy physically is key, but also vibrationally, where's my energy at? Am I feeling negative, or am I really positive and in gratitude? Because that, when you're in gratitude, when you're present, when you come from a place of love more than from a place of fear, everything flows and synchronicities just start happening. Like the way myself and Claire connected, it was so easy. I saw a video, I've mentioned this before, I saw her do a video on LinkedIn, and I loved Claire's energy, and I loved how authentic and real she was. And I reached out to her, and we chatted for a while, and we're like, oh, what should we do? How can we work together? And boom,
Let's do it.
Exponential Potential was born.
Yeah.
What about you, Claire? What do you
It's
find has been really key for you up until this point?
So I think, kind of, for me, I spend a lot of time in my head, which means that fear can crop up quite quickly, or worry can crop up quite quickly. That's a bit of a superpower, because I can handle multiple elements at once, and then think about what might go wrong. So from a strategy perspective, that's a superpower. But actually, it can then also increase the number of little things, you know, the worry, and it can stop you from acting. And so at times in the past, I've, you know, really needed to draw on courage, you know, which, and again, this is an area we've talked about repeatedly, but courage isn't the absence of fear. There's a real misnomer around courage. Courage is knowing fear, seeing fear, and choosing to act, choosing to kind of walk over that threshold, and choosing to make that step, see how it looks, risk failure. Again, failure is learning. It's kind of go, oh, that didn't work. It's experimentation. So kind of there's a few elements which are, yeah, let's see, let's trial this, let's see how it goes, let's take that next step. And this is like a little bit of a tangent, but kind of one of the things I've been listening to this week is The Art of Meditation, which is looking at Vipassana practices in Buddhism. And an excellent quote that I heard, which was around suffering, and it's, don't waste the suffering. As failure, it's like, don't waste the disappointment, don't waste the frustration, don't waste the anger, don't waste the fear. Really lean into it and understand it, because there are messages that come through of it, whether it's an old belief system, whether it's a different approach, whether it's a need to lean into tenacity and commitment and go full force. You kind of don't live in that negative space. Be there and move forward. Be there and move forward. And, you know, life needs the balance of positive and negative, for sure. So yeah, courage, willingness to embrace failure, willingness to understand why things don't work out, and yet keep going.
And I think, you know, looking at failure is a stepping stone to success. It is your stepping stone to success. And it, like you say, explore, experiment, play with it, because making mistakes, failing, means that you are moving towards your success, because you're not doing anything. You're not sitting and being scared of it and going, oh no, what if I fail? The failure is if you don't do anything about it. If you don't,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to use the word try, but if you don't take action, you're never going to succeed. So action is a huge one. I mean, it seems obvious, but you have to take action. I think.
Well, and that can be the little 1% more. What would be 1% more? What's the smallest next step that I could take, or what could I achieve in 5 minutes? That's always the one I do when I've got a messy desk. Right, 5 minutes. What can I do? It's like, let's stop avoiding it.
Yes, yeah, that's a really good one. And also dealing with overwhelm, I think, because when there's the bigger the difference that we want to make, or the biggest difference we're going to make in our lives, the more overwhelming it can become. And there's many tools that you can use to help you move through overwhelm and get focused again. But knowing that overwhelm is okay, providing you don't stay in it. But overwhelm is okay because it's showing you that you are stepping up, that you are getting out of your comfort zone.
Overwhelm is also a marker that life is flowing and overflowing into you. So you can be overwhelmed in success as much as other aspects of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. And talking of courage and authenticity, and we touched on authenticity, I want to bring Brené Brown to the stage, not literally because she's not here. Sorry, listeners, disappoint you, but she's not here. Not yet. But I want to shine the light on Brené Brown. And again, her beginnings were incredibly humble. She had a difficult upbringing, to the point where she became a research professor around vulnerability. And talk about courage. I mean, we all know her TED Talk is the most popular TED Talk ever. Back in 2010, it was, 2010 that was, gosh, 14 years ago, holy moly. That took courage for her to talk about vulnerability in such a way, in such an authentic, vulnerable way. And she truly was, she was petrified. But she did it anyway. And oh my, look at what she's accomplished, and the impact that she has on, through her books. She's a 4-time bestseller. She speaks around the world. She still is a professor of research. And she really brings to light and helps people understand that around shame and showing how vulnerability, authenticity, and getting rid of that shame. So yeah, she's definitely one of my top ladies. And what about you? Have you got somebody in your pocket there?
So someone that springs to mind for me is Beyonce, as an artiste, and kind of she has a number of different tactics that she uses. So she has Sasha as an alter ego and is able to step into Sasha as a state of being and show up in a completely different way. But it's not just that endears me to Beyonce, and it's not just that she's a Virgo, which automatically makes her amazing, of course, but it's because she's such a massive loser. Now, if you honestly, she has been really open. People go to her, it's like, oh, how does it feel to have won 24 Grammys? And it's like, yeah, actually, you pay attention to me now, but every time I've lost more Grammys than I've won. I've sat in the audience and been disappointed and disappointed and disappointed when other people have won. And that's not something we celebrate, but this is who I am. It's the tenacity to keep on going, to celebrate those near misses, to keep pushing, keep striving. And it's made her one of the most, renowned, successful, kind of critically acclaimed singers of all time. Her ability to step through that and to stay in grace when things don't quite work out is just phenomenal. She's a real force.
Mm.
And yeah, sadly not coming to the stage.
She did an amazing, I think it's on YouTube, she did an amazing talk. I think it might have been in COVID or just after COVID, to all the graduates. It was incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
positive and empowering. And I was like, wow, she
is a queen.
She's a force to be reckoned with. And
Yeah.
the inspiring talk that she gave, just so highly recommend you watch that on YouTube. Beyonce's graduation speech to one of the universities or the colleges.
Yeah. Some incredible icons around though. I mean, let's keep diving into this topic. Are there any others that really shine for you?
J.K. Rowling, I think she's English. Well, she's Scottish. She's Scottish. She's Scottish.
Well, she's from the UK.
She's from the UK. Sorry, Scotland. She's not English. Do apologise. Hope that doesn't offend anyone. She's from the UK, and we know her story is widely known. Being a single mum, struggling and writing her books in coffee shops and things, and being knocked back. But again, her tenacity, her drive to keep going.
Yeah.
She loved, and I think passion, passion is such a key element of creating ease when you're truly passionate about something. And she was truly passionate about writing from a very young age. She loved to write. As she grew older, she wanted to share that with the world, but she didn't stop writing. She's still continuing, bringing pleasure to not just children but adults as well. And all the grief and everything, the adversity that she faced in the US. I don't know whether you remember when Harry Potter came out, the women in the US, not all of the women, but there was a number of women in the US that wanted her books banned from the school because it was about witchcraft and it was anti-God and all of this, and they didn't want their children being influenced, and they thought their children were going to become witches and wizards, and it was bonkers because I was living in Canada at the time. Oh no, I was in Belgium, but I remember it happening. It was just crazy, but she just like, no, I'm not having it. I'm continuing. And she just, again, another force of powerful force.
And if you listen to her talk about imagination and creativity, you do see how she wants to lift generations. She wants to help so many others to tap into imagination, to help them to grow and to thrive. So, while she's had tremendous personal success with Harry Potter and the full wizarding world, as it were, she's still flowing, allowing that to flow for others.
And one of her quotes, I love this. She says, "It's our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." So that points to what you were saying earlier about living life on purpose. It's, our choice of how we are, how we be.
Yeah. Well, I want to.
What about you? You got any others?
I want to bring Dolly in, because Dolly Parton is. There are so many people that can dismiss Dolly, because she's so petite and she's she deliberately plays off her boobs and her hair and just kind of that oozing sexuality. You can see that side of her, but actually she is bright and ambitious and business savvy and generous, and she really embodies positivity. And you talked before about vibration and being in a high vibration state. She's there. She supports children's reading globally. Kind of in the wildfires, she directly supported thousands of families while, you know, who were devastated by those fires. She shows up with her style, with her smile, with her cheekiness, but it's not all been easy. And she owns that. She's, you know, kind of one of her quotes is, you know, if you want to have a rainbow, you got to take the rain. And it's like, yes, of course, we all want sparkles and rainbows and unicorns, but yeah, kind of you got to have the balance. And she drives through. So I've got so much admiration and respect for her. She's an awesome human being.
Yes. Yeah, you kind of can gloss over a lot of people, like the stars that are all, you know, about beauty and looks. They look like they could be really shallow. But when you delve underneath that, you know, Shania Twain, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, as you said, you know, they're not just a pretty face, or a Rihanna, Madonna, all these women that you could just look at and think, oh, they're just puppets, but actually no. Taylor Swift, or Madonna, changed the music industry for women. And Dolly Parton was part of that as well. She came before that. Barbara Streisand is another person that's done that with film and music.
Yeah, indeed. So it's this blending of, you know, resilience and passion and vision. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Why the hell not? One of my favorite quotes by Audrey Hepburn: nothing is impossible. The word itself says I'm possible.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I think there's many aspects that we're pulling through in terms of resilience, in terms of authenticity, in terms of leadership. Are there other areas that you know, if we could pull together like a magic potion of, here's your success potion, have a little bit of that, have a little dollop of that. Is there anything else that you would include?
I'm not sure if I mentioned boundaries earlier. But I think having boundaries about what you will and won't accept, boundaries around what you give and how much you take care of yourself, and boundaries around where you spend your time.
Yeah, and that's a really important one not to miss, and we covered a fair bit of that in last week's episode, when we were talking about moving forward, resetting and revitalizing. It's just really key as to what you will accept, what you'll take. It's just
and what you will do, you know, that's also a boundary in terms of what you're actually going to do and stick to that. What about you, Claire? Anything else that comes to mind?
I think boundaries is absolutely brilliant, and it's interwoven with beliefs really a lot of the time, and particularly around boundaries. So you know, one of my beliefs is I'm an older sister. Now that's true, but actually I don't need to hold on to that being part of my identity in terms of being the peacekeeper, in terms of the caretaker, in terms of making sure that everyone's okay. It's like, I don't have to, I'm 48. I don't need to take care of my little brothers all the time. And in fact, they do very well without me taking care of them. But it's sort of interwoven, and it's quite hidden as a boundary at times, because you just do it. Similarly with partners or with families. And it's not to say that you should be selfish, but you should kind of listen when something's when they're really frustrating or irritating. It's a lot of the time it's not what that person's doing, it's how it's making you feel, and that how it's making you feel is a cue to say something's not quite right here. It's the suffering that you need to listen to and not waste.
Mhm. Yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I hugely endorse the boundaries. That's for sure. And then I think commitment is really key, and combined with action, those little steps. And yeah, we're here on our 100th episode, which is awesome. And there are so many people go, it's like, oh, I wish I could do that, but it's like, just do it.
You can.
And yeah, we
Why
have
not?
learned so much. We have made mistakes. We've made mistakes in this episode. You know, there's so many aspects, but it's just like, okay, let's just keep going. Let's see what's next. There's times when, you know, I kind of go a little bit flat. Can you can you help? Can you pull me up here? And vice versa, I'm sure. It's just it's the commitment to the momentum and the commitment to the direction, even at times when you kind of I'm not ready, I'm not prepared. It's like,
yeah, which brings us to the hashtag not perfect.
Yeah,
because that perfection will keep you stuck. So remind yourself you're better moving forward, taking steps, and reminding yourself hashtag not perfect. Get it, it's better done than not done at all.
well, and just that small phrase gives, and us using that gives us permission to be that.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, fantastic. Anything else you want to add, Claire?
No, just the encouragement, the love, the wish, I see everything that you're doing at their audience. I see you. We see you. We feel you. We feel your highs and your lows. And we're here for both aspects. We want you to live on purpose, and I want to, I'm sure you do too. We want to keep providing that, to keep lifting you, helping you grow, helping you thrive.
Yeah, definitely. And here's to another 100 episodes, and who knows where that's going to take us. It's exciting.
And we'll find a way to release the track. So if you ever need a little bit of joy, you'll be able to find it.
Brilliant. Well, we'll probably put the link in this description, actually, Claire.
Yeah.
Thanks very much for listening or watching. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode, and just reflect on all the things that you've accomplished and celebrate you, because you are so worth it, and it will help forge you on.
Oh, the world's an awesome place with you in it.
Absolutely.
Simply is.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, share, subscribe, like. We love to hear your comments as well, because we read every one of them. So till next time, take care. Bye.